Welcome back, everyone, to Victoria 2. And this time, we are taking a look at a mod called... You know what the mod is called. It's from the title, Lamau. It's Anon Edits. Jesus Christ. 4chan cringe memento. I mean, except for the 4chan, it's nifty. So, yeah, let's get right into it. I need to debug the fog of war. To be a cuck, a beta cuck. So essentially what this mod is all about is also why I don't think this is going to be too long of a spotlight. It's because a lot of the changes are sort of in the background. Well, you do see some of them, like, oh look, there's a lot of new tags in Germany. Well, that's pretty normal. Was Luke? Yeah, Luca is in HFM. I should say, by the way, that this is a sub-mod for HFM, so yeah. And then you see this and you're like, okay, there's new things. And yeah, there's new stuff up here. The places that did exist already, you know, Kokand, Bukhara, and Khiva have been reshaped to make them, well, more realistic, which if we have time, we're gonna get into that. There's a new Kazakh. It's called the Middle Jews, the Middle Horde, or wing of the Kazakhs. Why did you not put the other two? I don't know. There was a middle, a greater, and a lesser. I don't know, whatever. And China's got some new tags, of course. It's like Tusa. It's like the tribal vassals of the Celestial Empire. And yeah, there's also more tags that you can release. For example, can we actually like really? Yeah, like I'm not sure if Wales and Scotland were in standard Victoria 2 or in HFM actually, but they're here. Of course, Ireland, and glorious Ulster. But mostly this becomes a thing when you go into mainland Europe. For example, La France, the world's greatest country, can unfortunately lose more of its country than in normal Victoria. I will stop the cringe accent. Yeah, you can release... is Normandy even normal Victoria 2? I don't know. Occitania probably was. Not... and Picardy. Of course, in the northeast of France. Of course, there's also Brittany, but you know that. Epic Normandy. Population Geriai. Yes, because there's also new cultures. Culture map mode. Scotland forever. And Welsh forever. Except in Cardiff, where there's more English people. Love ethnic displacements. Cornish! The epic cringe. Yeah. There also seems to be a lot of new, like, graphical updates to a lot of provinces. Yeah, they've got, like, the little provincial shield pictures things. Man, Liverpool sure seems like an excellent place to live. I sure want to live in Liverpool. Or in Newcastle upon Tyne. Or in Edinburgh, or in Glasgow. Yeah, so actually, like a long time ago, Scotland used to be a pretty cool place, but whatever. I guess it might be today too, but I don't know. I've never been to Scotland. But yeah, they also added Arpitania, which is the country of the Arpitans, which are like those sort of semi-Italian, semi-French people who live in the southwestern Alps near Switzerland. And they also added Lorraine, or Lorraine, or Picardy, of course, in the northeast. So you can dismantle France pretty good. You can even dismantle Germany a little bit more. You know, I hate how you have to I hate how tags in Victoria 2 are case sensitive. It's a really, really fucking annoying thing. But yeah, they or he, it might be a single person actually. Danzig was already in Victoria 2, but like Kashubia, Lusatia, Poznan was already in, Rhineland, Silesia, no, Silesia, Was Silesia in? Yeah, Silesia was in. Pomerelia. Pomerelia was in. Westphalia. Out here. Lovely, lovely tags that you can release out of places. Oh look, North German. I don't care, but Kashubian. What the hell is this? Well, if we take a look at the culture map mode, there's a couple of very, very interesting little things. As you can see, there's some of these yellow people, which are kind of like Western Slavs. Now, there used to be a lot of Slavs east of the Elbe River, this fucking thing here, and especially east of the Oder, which is this one. Although, well, in Victoria 2 times, there weren't many left, but today, obviously, east of the Oder, Poland, but yeah. And some of them were the Kashubians, which were essentially like Slavic Pomeranians, you know, which, coincidentally, Pomeranian is a Slavic word. It means Pomorje or Pomorje, depending on which kind of Slav you are, which just means the thing by the sea, which is, by the way, like Pomerania, this thing here, or I suppose here, has the same name as another place here, which is Pomorie, which is just this part. And then there's Primorie, there's another thing. But yeah, like, that's just kind of a nice little bit of trivia, I suppose. And there's also the Sorbs, which are not the Serbs, but some people say they are. It's weird. Let's not get into it because it's a long fucking story. So yeah, you can see that the culture map mode is a lot more fun than in regular Victoria 2, and obviously that's something that Victoria 2 players just fucking nut at. There's apparently Italo-Dalmatian culture, which is not accepted by Italy at the start, but I suppose they can accept it if they take the conquest of the Adriatic. I don't know. Let's look into it. It's probably not Ita, it's probably Sar. Yeah, it's the Hong Kong Sar. Take a look at your decisions. Have you updated the decisions? No, this only accepts South Italian. Oh shit. Since he's not Italy, he does not have like the conquest of the Adriatic decisions. That is very sad. There's also a ton of new provinces. There's Trst, or Trieste, or Trieste, which is obviously the greatest place on earth, but also Gurs and Gradisch. A couple more interesting towns in the northeast of Italy, although Gurs and Gradisch are actually like places where like the border with Slovenia sort of cuts through the town, and that's kind of funny. But yeah, there's a lot of new provinces, especially in sort of Central Eastern Europe. You can see Tabor over here, Ungarisch Hradisch, not sure. Was Teschen in normal Victoria 2? I don't know. This is like the point where essentially like Poland and Czechoslovakia sort of contest each other with. And funnily enough, 1938, when the Nazis came for Czechoslovakia, the Polish also came for Czechoslovakia, and they took back Teschen. So they didn't support the Czechoslovaks. And we all know how that went in the end. Also, there's a lot of other map changes. There are some places that have new or different terrain types, like this floodplain farmlands. I'm not sure if that's new or anything like that, but yeah, there's a lot of new terrain. Maybe not new terrain types, but the terrains themselves have been switched around. Like places that before were just like, oh hey, this is like if we go up here, it's like a desert or whatever. Now it's a semi-desert or a montane desert, you know. So the terrain is supposed to be more representative of what's going on IRL, which is pretty good. Pretty good. I wonder what the difference between a floodplain farmland and a normal farmland is. Is there a terrain map mode? Yes. What a... Whoa, this looks pretty. Damn. Damn, nigga.
A glorious victory, comrade.
A glorious victory, comrade. Yeah, this terrain map mode looks pretty good. Yeah, I wonder if there's any difference over here. Supply limit, farming efficiency plus 33%. Farming efficiency plus 20%, so the Floodland Plains is better. You know, then if the creator of the mod is listening, the Mr. Anon 4chan Lamau, I suppose some places, especially in central China. Oh, well. Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! I suppose I've been proven right. Yeah, see, I wanted to tell him that some places in central China would really use that that floodplain modifier, considering that historically, or well, in reality, they pretty much are equivalent to that. It's like the Indus River Valley. Yeah, the Indus River Valley. Epic. Epic, epic, epic. Of course, Baghdad and Basra. Yeah, nice. Love this. Very good. Yeah, some good detail in there. So that's the sort of terrain stuff. That doesn't look half as... Like, the Amazons don't really look too good, but whatever. Damn, the Sahara looks epic. But yeah, like, this is like... partially, the look is derived from another mod, another map mod that I have, so not entirely sure on how much the mod is to... The current mod I'm reviewing is to be praised for this, but whatever. And there's also, I think, like, yeah, like Ingria. There's a lot of, again, tags that you can release out of random places. Can you release, like, the Straits? No, it's only a Greece core. Yeah, that's basically the gist of it, but obviously this is spread out all over the world, so you can imagine that this is the kind of mod that's difficult to really gauge the impact of when you're in normal, just like in 1936, and you're not playing. But when you progress, you can see a lot of new things, like new tags and new countries being released, new cultures being integrated into certain countries. Like, for example, Russia has a shitload more cultures. In fact, some of them are accepted, like Cossack. Praise be. Is there even like a Cossack tag? Oh, the Don Cossack house. That's my jam, actually. It's like my very epic obsession. It's just weird things. Oh shit, Russia's at war at the start, so I can't actually show. Oh god damn! I mean, I could, like, could do a cheat. What was it? Debug. Yes, man. Circassia, you don't want to fight, and you don't want to fight. Even though you're supposed to fight. They're also, the Caucasian Mimit and Circassia look to be a little bit stronger than I remember, but I'm not sure if that's like a, it's like a mod thing or it's an HFM thing. Although HFM hasn't been updated in a long time, so I don't think it is. Maybe I just never looked at like how many troops Circassia and the Caucasian Mimit have, but whatever. Oh, you fucking cunt. There we go. Come on. Don't want to be at war anymore. I want to show you the epic Avaristan. Interesting. The Azov Cossack host. The Black Sea Cossack host. The Don Cossack host. Derbent. That's a Central Asian thing. Gaugazia, which is like Gaugazia is weird. It's like a... Oh, maybe Gaugazia is a normal HFM too. Or Gagauzia. It's like a Tatar ethnic group that exists in, well, essentially Western Moldavia. It's a bit more inland, IRL, if I recall correctly. But yeah, like you have, again, these epic Cossack hosts. They start off with absolute monarchies, Cossack with Ukrainian and Russian accepted. Of course, the Cossacks are like everyone's favorite murderers and all that. And as you can see, they have a ton of our troops, right? Let's see if I... Oh wait, what? Interesting. Maybe Kos. Fucking hell. They probably have those temporary tags that I hate. But yeah, like, they inherited a bunch of troops. That's because they were Cossack culture troops, so yeah. Don't you love that? Don't you love that? So that's pretty much it, and there's also more, like, Tatars and other kinds of things. The thing that pisses me off is that there's no Kalmyks, I don't think, which were, like, these Mongols. Although I suppose at this point in history there was a very, very insignificant amount of Kalmyks left. There was these Mongols that migrated from essentially, like, here, all the way to here-ish. Some of them are still around there today, and they're an ethnic republic in Russia. Yeah, this is Avaristan. Jesus Christ. Dagestani, Chechen Tatar. Interesting. Derbent, Persian. Oh, it's like a little Persian port. Right. Interesting. 52% Dagestani, 24% Caspian. What the hell is a Caspian? I don't know. Mizrahi Jews. Mizrahi Jews. Yeah, Jews are everywhere in this mod. I think there's also Jews. Like, they added Jews to a bunch of places. Yeah, like 5% Ashkenazi in London. Are there Jews in Paris? Yes, there's Jews. There's Jews everywhere. Everyone loves the Jews. Although not the mod creator, because he is a Nazi probably, because Anon edits, and his, like, 8% Irish. And his, like, his patch notes. Don't go read the patch notes, because, or, well, do if you like slurs, because it calls ethnic groups by their slurs. The edgelords. Also, the Don and the Volga, at least the lower parts, are navigable. Like, if I were to just, like, be Lamau, yeah, I can just, like, go to the lower Don, and if I continue playing long enough after, I don't remember exactly what period, but, after a while, you get the ability to build a canal between the two, and then you can get to the Caspian. Just kind of like I've almost never played a grand strategy game where the Caspian matters, so whatever. And as you can see, also when you go into Asia, there's a lot of map changes. Now, overall, I find these to be sort of semi-cringe, because it's like, yeah, this is gonna get gobbled up by Russia, probably 99% of the games. Maybe sometimes, if they added like a lot of great game events, which was like when the Russians and the British were fighting each other over all of this, essentially in this time period, from the 1830s, yeah, 1830s, because before there was the whole Napoleon thing, all the way to the end of the 19th century, which is also when the British got epically owned by Afghanistan, like a million times. Shout out to my brave Mujahideen fighters of Afghanistan, by the way. Love you guys. Yeah, essentially, except, like, unless they added a lot of great game events for, like, alternate history outcomes, which I haven't read in the patch notes of any of those things, so I don't think that they've been added. Other than that, it's very, very, very unlikely that this is, like, at all relevant, because it's going to get gobbled up by Russia. It's highly unlikely that this gets gobbled up, or this doesn't get gobbled up by British East India Company and later Britain. It's highly unlikely that eventually this doesn't become just like China or Qinghai or Tibet. So yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Also, there should be a lot more Tusa cringe in the border between Burma and China. It's called the Wa states. It's a weird, or the Shan states. It's a weird fucking thing. No one cares except nerds. Yeah. Other than that, also Yunnan is not a Tusa. For some reason, their faction is a Tusa, but it's not a Tusa. Jesus Christ. But that's not the fault of the single mod or of HFM. maybe it's a fault of HFM because this is only a sub-state in HFM, but whatever. There's also like a lot of new things in... This is like the Grand Compilation mod, because a lot of this is pretty similar to like the HFM More Stuff mod. So like Persia's all split up and kind of cringe. This was not British until like the 1860s, I think. Pretty sure. Should probably check up on the dating of this Bushehr or Bushire being British, but whatever. Poor little Persia only has one like little access to the sea, but they do have like sub-states in Arabistan. Can you annex that? Can you annex the epic thing? Sir dominance over Khorasan. Okay, I see. Establish the Dar al-Funun. Yo, Persia! Yo, Persia! Persia, you're epic! I should actually play Persia, Jesus Christ, this looks pretty cool. So yeah, you can get back these places. I love the Oman Empire of Doom, which is always epic. And yeah, nice little Herat over here. Should be bigger. Afghanistan should be split up a little more if you want to be historically 100% accurate. It wasn't really all disunited until like the 1850s, late 1850s, but whatever. Yeah, that's like about it on the external things. Of course, there's a lot more cultures in Asia as well. Not 100% sure on how the cultures around here were represented in normal Victoria too, to be honest. I suppose there was a lot more Turkic miners, and now there's a bit more, you know, Uzbeks, Turkmen, and all that. Wait, Kurdish? Okay, boomer. Zafaranlu. Interesting. Yeah, there's a bit more Kurds, a bit more Assyrians all over the place. Mashriki, Misri are Egyptians. They're normal game too. Syriac Aramaean. Bruh. Epic ancient cultures. Alawite. Bashar Surya. Allah Surya Bashar. Yes, nice. Very nice. Jews? 8% Assyrian. Oh, Mizrahi. Yeah, Jews. Epic. Epic Jews. Khaleji. Nice. And obviously a lot of cultures to go around in Africa. A lot of tags to go around in Africa, but that's just like mostly HFM, I think. Yeah, I think that's mostly HFM business. Anything new in Indonesia? Is Lampang even more epic than it is already? No. They're already epic. They're already epic in normal Victoria too. Malaysian minor. Cringe Asian minor. No. So this is pretty much the same. Champa? Okay, that's new, I think. Yeah, about it. I don't really see anything else going on with the cultures in Asia. Although there is an Eastern Tibetan that really shouldn't be the... Oh, it's only the majority because like there's a massive... Yeah, okay, I see. Taranchi! Now that's fucking obscure. Holy that's some obscure shit. Taranchis, in case you want to know, were essentially like ancient, like settled Turks in a way. Like today we'd call them Uyghurs, but it's not 100% that. Like at this point in history, the Uyghurs were pretty much becoming what we today know as the Taranchi, but originally the Uyghurs were nomadic Turks, while Taranchis are settled, Turkic speaking, Muslim generally, and yeah, and generally inhabiting the lower Xinjiang region, essentially what's called Turkestan. So yeah, you wouldn't be too wrong in calling them Uyghurs, but yeah. That's some cool stuff. Iranian minor. Oh, I almost crashed the game by doing that. Love the North Han and the Gansu corridor. Nice. So that's, you get the gist of this mod. This mod is about taking what HFM does well, which is like putting more depth in regular Victoria 2, and sort of just adding historical things, the historical flavor mod or whatever. Adding more things, putting a bit more depth, a bit more historical accuracy that can work with the game, and, be integrated in it. Sort of, again, put a little... Okay. I don't think I want to look at Texas. Is that Russia? Крепость Рос, Fort Ross. Is all this is... I wonder if you can, like, take over all of California as Russia. That would be hilarious. Hello, I am a Russian-American company. I own Alaska. Что Сибирь, что Аляска, два берега, бабы, кони, гармонии, blah blah. Which is like a Russian song about "Don't be an idiot, America, give us back Alaska." It was written in like 1995. From probably one of the most famous Russian rock bands, Yube. Yeah, a little bit of trivia that no one cared about. But yeah, like just adding a little bit more flavor, reworking the map. Doing all these, like, sort of not very flashy in the background things. Where the mod is a little bit more flashy is in South America, where there's a lot of new shit, especially with the northern countries like Venezuela and Colombia. Let's face it, it's going to change its name very soon. You can do, like, new things with Gran Colombia, the Andean Federation, which is like Peru, Bolivia plus... Gran Colombia, and a ton of weird shit, essentially. Yeah, honestly, despite the cringiness of, like, the name and, oh, by the way, there's, like, basically no way you can download this mod except if you join this, again, probably, like, pretty 4chan-y Discord server, but whatever. In the Discord, there's a link to download the mod, and I just joined the Discord, downloaded the mod, and I'm not paying attention to the server, so yeah, that's basically about it. Which is, I think, what most people are going to do with this, are going to work, are going to have as a plan to play this mod. Yeah. If you want, just like go and Google like Victoria 2 Anon, like, anonymous, but without the anonymous, how people call themselves on 4chan. Anon edits for HFM. Now, it's not actually over. This is like the Anon edits has a sort of addendum mod, which is called Anon More RGOs or Anon RGOs, and this one is actually kind of epic, although it scares me. I will say right up in front, I've not played a test run with the RGO mod on, but RGOs in Victoria 2 tend to be a very iffy kind of thing. Although I see that they have, like, for example, values right at the start. I don't know. But essentially, yeah, there's new resources. Epic, right? So there's sugar, there's copper. Let's actually do this from the trade screen, which is easier. So because it's easier to see if that's, like, if that's looking a little weird. There's lead, which obviously goes into ammunition. Copper goes into wiring, and bronze, Lamel, which is, I suppose, a new manufactured good, which goes into artillery, like bronze cast cannons, machine parts, artillery, furniture, bronze artillery. Right. Very interesting. So it looks like there's also new, probably inventions, right? Let's go to like the advanced ore grinding process. Ooh, wow! I like how this is integrated with the new RGOs. The copper mine, the sulfur mine was already in, the lead mine, and all that. Nice. Yeah, artillery factory, but not bronze artillery factory. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Have you done anything with reforms? No. What was I doing? I was looking at the RGOs. Excellent. So yeah, you've got your copper, you've got your lead. Iron is obviously still in it. A lot of provinces that were previously iron have been converted to the newer metals. Because in normal Victoria 2, essentially, like, iron was a pretty catch-all terms for... catch-all RGO for just, like, industrial mineral ore. Yeah. Well... what else? Cement was obviously in it already, but there's furs! Furs are epic. Although at this point in history, they started to become a little bit less important. They were really, really important from like the 17th century to the early 19th, because that was the period known as like the little little ice age, I think, or later ice age, which was when essentially like a ton of you had a sort of global cooling, in a way, and temperatures, especially in Northern Europe, were very, very low. And also, like, essentially most of the forests in Europe were destroyed because the expanding population centers had basically had need for fuel and for cleared land for agriculture. So, and because, like, mechanization of agriculture hadn't progressed essentially enough, but populations were increasing, which was when, like, Malthus was like, herder, the population increases exponentially, but food production increases mathematically, like, you know, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 versus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So eventually, we're all just gonna run out of food, and a ton of people are gonna die, and it's gonna be cyclical like this. He was fucking wrong, of course, because technology exists. But for a while, obviously, technology wasn't progressing fast enough, so the solution was to cut down more trees, which is why, funnily enough, today, see, like, a lot of people in, like, the 1970s and 1980s, all the way into, like, 2000s, because I remember distinctively being told about this when I was young. I was like, oh my god, like, all the forests in Europe have disappeared, oh my god, it's, like, so sad. Actually, and, like, obviously the accusation was that, like, the industrial revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for nature, and so we must return to monkey. But they were wrong, because actually industrialization and mechanized farming led to a regrowth in a lot of forested areas of anciently destroyed and cut down forests. And so today, Europe is actually reforesting pretty fucking fast. It's in developing nations that sort of the needs of industry lead to deforestation. It's kind of weird tangent. But this whole process that was going on from the 17th century all the way to the early 20th essentially meant that, like, not only the sources of wood in Europe became quite sparse, compared to, well, maybe not China, but compared to, like, for example, India, and of course, especially the Southeast Asia region, parts of Africa, and especially North America. But also the sources of things like furs. And which is why Russia became, for a while, a very, very important sort of exporter of furs, and as you can see, this it sort of kept this. And also, it's also why, for example, there was this weird sort of relationship between the French and the Native Americans in this region of the world. It was because it was more convenient for essentially French merchants to buy from native hunters. It's a weird thing. So they had a ton of fur gathering going on around here, although at this point in history, it's not as big of a deal. And yeah, so Russia was really, really important because of this. Another reason why Russia was important, apparently, is whales. Whales and seals. Seal clubbing. What was the Poland ball meme about seal clubbing? Like Greenland or something? There was this stupid Poland ball meme like in 2010 about this like really innocuous country that just like turns out to be a crazy seal killer. Yeah, I think Greenland. But yeah, this apparently goes into like whale oil, which is epic. Like weird steampunk that's actually powered by whale oil. Yeah, it goes into industrial try-work to produce fuel. I have no words for the awesomeness of this. Yeah, then there's also sugar. Sugar is pretty important, you know. All the times that everyone murdered each other over this. Yeah, that's sugar was the reason why. Also, slavery in America because of cotton, also because of sugar. Yeah, sugar. It's good. It's an important thing. And spices, ever heard of those? Yeah, obviously not really that much of an important good when it comes to industry, but, you know, spices do have their uses. And yeah, let's all kill each other over spices. Cocoa apparently is a trade good. Not sure as to exactly how important this was in the 19th century, but sure, there's cocoa. Obviously, most of it is in the New World, although maybe they decided to plant it. The Eternal Dutchman has decided to plant it in West Java. Might be native to West Java, I don't know. And the Eternal Portuguese has decided to plant it in North Angola, of course. I've never had Angolan chocolate in my life. I wonder how good it is. It's probably smells of oil. But yeah, these are the new trade goods, the new RGOs. Now the problem with this is that I'm not sure exactly... Like, okay, in Victoria 2, the economy... Like, by the words of its own creator, is just like a weird thing that, like, works through some weird magic that no one understands. And again, not even the coders really understand how it works. Just generally how it's supposed to work, but, you know, eh. So I don't know if, like, these new RGOs... Okay, it does seem like... Spices, for example, are everyday needs. Maybe cocoa. Yeah, cocoa is a luxury need. But I'm not sure if this is, like, balanced. Like, do they want too much spices? Too much cocoa for the world market? Is the world market of furs going to crash? And, like, cause a whole bunch of rebellions because, like, the French, like, middle class and lower class cannot get enough furs, and so their militancy shoots straight up. Messing with the economy of Victoria 2 is always potentially dangerous. You might be playing with forces you don't understand. You might be summoning demons out of the outer hells. You know, the eldritch gods of the Victoria 2 economy might just strike you down. So yeah, you really just need to play the mod to discover this. On the surface, very, very cool. I'm not sure if it's gonna cause the entire world to explode by 1900 because, again, like, the world fur production is not high enough, although at some point I suppose you can invent synthetic furs or something. I don't know. Maybe the world fur production is not high enough. Or maybe the world fur production is stimulated enough by how profitable it is that, like, Russia becomes a super powerhouse because they get, like, a shitload of taxes on the furs. I don't fucking know. It might have unforeseen consequences. Again, this entire thing hasn't been tested. How are the resources in China, actually? Is everything tea still? Yeah, mostly tea. Which is good. Tea is a great thing. Cha in Chinese. Nice. But there's more silk, definitely. That's also welcome. There's also more fruit. And hopefully more grain. Funnily enough, like, China and normal Victoria 2 has very little grain, and in fact, over here, it's got very little grain too, which leads to the very, 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 very haha funny of China running out of grain, and everyone becoming a reactionary because of it, and you not being able to even buy militia because of it. It's very cringe. Yeah. Thankfully, they've got a little bit more wood. Although, again, China too had a massive deforestation problem, which only was... Yeah, it only solved itself when, like, a ton of Chinese people started dying in the Century of Humiliation, and the Chinese economy sort of flatlined for 100 years. Well, it didn't really flatline for 100 years, but it didn't really, like, progress all that much, and the Chinese population did explode, but not enough. And of course, the, like, you know, last 40 years from 1912 all the way to 49 really did help because a ton of people died. And then Mao helped because, you know, haha, great famine. But today they've got their deforestation issues too. So, yeah. Anyway, digressions. That's the mod. If you like it, try it. Hope you're gonna like it, because I'm gonna play with it, and probably record Victoria 2 in the future with this mod, because honestly I think this is pretty cool. So yeah, thank you for watching, hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.